We are live. It is 2:07 Central Standard Time in the United States, 8:08 now because it just changed. GMT in the UK. This is the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe.
Hey.
Coming to you live from this second day of March, already March 2025. We are moving along in this year. It's been pretty nice here. 2 months in. Not too bad. We're doing pretty good. We've had I don't know, like what, half dozen shows now, 7, 8 now in the 2025. We're doing good. Actually, I think we're getting close. I got to look at seasons. We don't really have a season like episode of a season that is like, okay, well, we got to switch it. But I think we might go to season 4, but I don't know when that's going to be. I have to look.
Yeah, I was thinking that, Sam. Actually, we need to total it up.
I don't know. I think it's like I have to look it up. I think it's like
we just randomly do it though, really, don't we? We just
right. I think we just randomly. Yeah. I mean, again, like, why would you think that anything in the show is actually in any way, shape, or form planned or done in any way that would have some semblance of actual, organization?
We occasionally plan guests. We
plan guests because we have to, because we can't just drop in on people. It's just not how we get down. But anyway, if you're paying attention to the chat, congratulations. You are understanding the assignment, as the kids say. And if not, you can watch later on YouTube, or you can download it. We have Manos. He's decided to waste an hour of his life, and he's never getting it back. So, welcome, sir. How you been? I know it's been a little bit since we've had you on the show. How things been going for you?
Hey there. First of all, thank you for having me, and apologize for the delay. I was trying to fix my microphone situation. I failed because I downloaded an app, and I'm sure I don't have the right one. DJI for you, I guess, every time with the APKs and everything. But apart from that, all good. I'm very happy with the weather. Finally, we're getting some sun and some clear skies, even though it's frosty. It was like minus something today and yesterday. But can't complain, especially, when we have the sun. It's just brilliant. Yeah. And apart from that, all good. I had some shenanigans with my phone. I'll get into that at the later stages. But yeah, all good. Very happy to be here.
There's a lot going on with you, Manos, since we last saw you.
Yeah, a lot of things happening, both like tech, inside of tech and outside of tech. But yeah, I cannot complain overall.
Cool. Well, you could. I mean, everybody does. I mean, everybody complains now.
They do call you Manos.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, because I do get to whine a lot. But to be fair, the most challenging part at the moment in my life is the fact that I'm in the pursuit of finding a new job. Because in my current workplace and team, my team is getting redundant in a way, and reshaped and restructured. We lost like the big boss of the team. Another colleague of mine, she quit. She's going back to China. So yeah, things are a little bit weird, but at least in my case, I'm getting a good settlement package. So I'm not complaining. And I've been moaning about leaving this job and this team for a long time now. So actually, they're doing me a favor.
It's being forced upon you.
Well, the good thing is that I mean, obviously companies restructure, and that does happen, and like Jermaine said, yeah, it does suck, but at least you get some kind of a severance. That's kind of nice, a little bit of a little cushion, and hopefully you can get into something. Now, are you looking for the same kind of work? Are you looking to maybe change careers? Are you looking for kind of a sideways adjustment? Maybe something that's kind of sort of what you do, but not really what you want to do. I mean, have you thought about what are you looking at? Continuing your career, maybe trying to.
So that's a great question. So I've been in data for the past, I don't know, like 3 or 4 almost years. If maybe a little bit longer than that, and I don't enjoy it anymore. So for me, it's a blessing in disguise. Yes, it's put me, in an uncomfortable position, but yeah, I don't wanted to go back to marketing or anything marketing related, branding or comms or whatever, because my background before I got into data was actually in marketing, and my studies have been in marketing. So I want to go back to that because I really enjoy it. I feel confident in it. And enjoy, especially if I'm in a brand or a company that I really enjoy working for. In an ideal world, I would be working, maybe for a tech, smartphone related, or anything of those sorts. But yeah, it's insanely competitive because I was thinking on LinkedIn, and for companies like this, you see thousands of applications, which it can be a little bit um overwhelming, but it puts you in a position like, oh, come on, like there's no way I'll be one of the one plus, 1,000 plus people applying for this job. But it's fine. It's fine. I will find something eventually. That's for sure.
You will, mate. You
But
will.
yeah,
It's interesting you say you want to go into marketing, because that's a good segue into what we're going to talk about today with your ambassador role, because that's like a marketing role in a sense.
in a way, yeah, you could say that. You could say that, with writing articles online and yeah, promoting, I guess, content and all those things for sure.
Mm.
There are some transferable skills. I would like to somehow, add it on my CV and see, how I can leverage this. Definitely would be fun. And yeah, the ambassador role for Oppo. Yeah, it has been good. Has been good. I really enjoyed the phone. I'm not gonna lie. It has been uh, maybe the best phone that I have so far because it has an incredible performance to efficiency ratio. So when look at it as a
Mm.
phone, outside of just the best camera or whatever, the battery is by far the best I've ever experienced after the S23 Ultra with Samsung.
That's the Dimensity,
Uh,
isn't it, in there?
yes, I don't remember which one because it's the first time ever that I'm actually using a phone with Dimensity inside because I've been hardcore Snapdragon fanboy. Uh, And yeah, the MediaTek, the Immensity really surprised me. And also the work that Oppo has done, with optimizing everything. Especially I remember the very first month or so before they pushed the latest update, the battery would easily last like 3 days
Mm.
with, average use. I'm not going to say that I was pushing it, a lot with photos and videos and editing. It was, just browsing, social media, emails, some messages, a little bit of maps, and a few photos here and then. Nothing crazy. And yeah, 3 days of battery with around 8 hours of screen on time spread throughout those 3 days.
Thanks for the shout out.
Uh, yeah,
Screen on time,
good one. Yeah,
yeah.
and yeah. But apart from that, with Oppo, it was a great opportunity because first of all, free phone, yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time, I ever got a phone outside of, Snapdragon and just being recognized for my photography, I guess. Because,
Mm.
Snapdragon, yes, they do invite you to the events, but it's a sponsorship. I'm not sure if the sponsorship was just a partnership they have with Samsung and, they provide the phones for their events.
Mm.
But with Oppo, it was, something that I applied for, something, that I provide them with my, the work that I feel the proudest for and answering,
Mm.
several questions of all those of things. And yeah, so they sent me the phone, and then we had a lot of tasks, which was making a blog, not a blog, sorry, a vlog, and then showcasing the capabilities of the phone. And it has to do, with the cameras, but also with the AI stuff, because of course it's all about the AI now. So yeah, you needed to
Yeah.
showcase.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Of course, man.
the AI summary, the AI writing tools, which to be fair, I found particularly useful, especially the AI writes, if I'm saying it correctly. Haven't used it in a
Mm.
while. So, whenever, you see me posting on X or on Instagram, I normally, have a poem, because I just don't
Yeah,
know
you
what
do.
else I don't know what else to have, as a caption for the photo. And so when you slide from the right hand side of the phone, it has the smart bar, like similar to Samsung's Health
Mm.
bar. And then it basically analyzes what's on the screen, and you can ask it to, write a description or anything creative. So I was using that as a guide in order, to create posts for Instagram and X. And I found that, particularly useful. Or there were other stuff like, the summary for the websites, which most phones do nowadays. It's just, how they do it. And I
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Oppo's implementation because, like I said, you just swipe from the top, sorry, from the right hand side, and then just tells you, to summarize it. It was just very accessible. Something which I haven't found the case to be with Samsung. With Samsung, I need to dig a little bit deeper to find those little things. Not that they're not doing it well. It's just it was not as accessible.
Yeah.
Um, and then my only complaint with Opus AI and OnePlus, because more or less they're the same thing, is that it doesn't run on device. So if you have
Oh,
dodgy
all cloud. Okay.
internet, yeah, it's all cloud. So if
Mm.
your internet connection is not very stable, it's not gonna work. So I remember when I was traveling back from London and I wanted to edit some photos and I wanted to use the AI eraser, it would just fail. And because it was saying your internet connection is not stable or something.
Frustrating. Yeah.
So it was
That's rare. It's
frustrating.
rare these days that you have bad connection, though, isn't it? To be fair.
That's true. But to be fair, when
Mm.
you're on the train traveling back from London, you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's not as rare. So yeah,
It's frustrating. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
I'm glad you touched on the tasks because I think a lot of people see ambassadors and think, oh, they get a free phone and they just take a few photos and that's it. There's a lot more to it, and it's opened my eyes even like following your journey with it. There was like
Mm.
a lot of tasks and a time scale that needed to be done, and even to the point I don't know if we're allowed to say this about like at the end of it they've graded you all as ambassadors, haven't they?
Uh,
I don't know if you're
I'm not
comfortable
sure how
saying
much.
that, but
Yeah, I'm not sure how much I can share about this.
I
I
mean, in
don't
the
remember
sense
if
that
yeah.
what basically, I think it's fair to say, like, I think it's a good thing. I think it's good that they do that and people realise that it's not just a free gig. Like,
Yeah, I
you
guess
have to
so. I
work
guess so.
hard.
Yeah.
You have to work hard for it. You have to do the
Mm,
role as specified. It's not just for a free gift. There you go, have fun. And I
yeah,
think people need
true.
to realise that. Look, Manos has worked hard with this ambassador role, um, really hard with it. So props to
So
you, mate.
yeah, I thank you so much. So I can share some information about how it worked actually. So yeah, even before we got the phone, they did give us like a welcome pack of some sort, saying if you agree to become an ambassador, you need at the very minimum to complete XYZ
Hmm. Which is
tasks.
fair.
One of Yeah, which is fair. I mean, I didn't expect to just get the phone and be like, oh hey, I got the free
Yeah.
phone, okay, just sell it. No, so there were six tasks. The first one, it was to make a vlog that was like life in a day of whatever our job roles may be. In my case,
Mm.
like a business data analyst. And yeah, I just use the Meta Ray Bans and the phone itself to capture some content, which was basically me waking up in the morning, taking Ernie on a walk, and then just driving to the office. And then just taking a selfie video of me working for a bit. And yeah, I guess to showcase how owning a smartphone fits into any to actually everyone's life nowadays, because everyone has a smartphone.
Mm.
Because you can use it for maps, you can use it for email, you can use it for so many things that we take for granted. And also when you use it for work, you can use it for reminders or for video calls. And I do use a lot my phones for Teams calls, because I guess of the camera and how easy it is just pop the buds in my ears and just do it.
Mm.
And yeah, so besides the vlog, then we needed to showcase the camera capabilities, of course, but it was not just, random photos. They were even specific. So first one would be, the zoom, they improved shutter speeds. Um, what else was there? I think
You
from
have to get
camera
a
wise, there
tiger,
was
didn't you?
this. Yeah, the tigers. Oh, yeah, because that was really their, I don't know, spirit animal, let's say, for the X8 series. So yeah, I did have to go to the London Zoo. Oh my God, that was both fun, challenging, and a very unique experience because it was minus something that period. I don't remember how cold it was, but it was very cold.
You was
And the
waiting
fun
around,
thing
weren't you?
was, yeah, I was waiting around for hours. The tigers were not coming out, and I only had like three shots, and they were not even good because it was still very early, so there was not really much sun yet. And I was like, oh man, I cannot use these photos to promote, how the phone, really works like, because it's unfair. Plus, I didn't want to be told, oh, this is bad, content. We cannot allow you to post this. So I stuck around for the whole day there, and eventually the sun did come out, and I managed to capture some great photos, and I was very pleased. And the phone surprised me and it keeps surprising me whenever I use it with its shutter speed. And the same goes for OnePlus. I don't know what kind of optimization they have done this year, both with MediaTek and Snapdragon, but both these devices, this just they do not miss a shot. Like whenever I'm outside, with Ernie, or I'm trying to capture, birds, or you name it, anything, any subject that is fast moving, it always manages, to freeze it. And that blows my mind every single time, because the OnePlus 12 was nowhere near as good, nowhere near
No,
as good
yeah,
when it
it
came to
wasn't.
shutter speed. Even
So
for street
yeah,
photography, you would always see limbs being a little bit blurry. But with the 13 or the X8 Pro, perfect.
well, I want to ask. So clearly, it's something that it has nothing to do with the Snapdragon chip, right? Because we were still on the Samsung S25. People still talking about motion blur. So clearly, it's more than just a chipset, right? It's not a it's not a Snapdragon chipset problem. It seems to be an optimization problem, right? Because people were saying on the
Mm.
25 series, they're still getting motion blur. It's a little better, but then you're talking about a
I
OnePlus 13.
yeah
Well, I don't know. I honestly, and
yeah.
I don't really care
I
that
have
much.
I have a lot to say about this. To be fair, because I do have the S25 Ultra, I'm using it now for this video call, and it's massively improved when it comes to the shutter speed and motion blur. Especially in the weather we have in the UK with overcast, gray skies, white skies, and all that. I really see the improvements. In the past, it would always be blurry, noisy. It's just no. Let's say I would take 10 shots. Maybe if I was lucky, one would be good. Now I would say in challenging conditions, 6 to 7, which is a massive improvement. And in the same scenario, Oppo and OnePlus, they would probably be 8 or 9. So the gap has really closed. I would still say that OnePlus and Oppo are way better. Their shutter speed is way more reliable, especially in lower lights. But in in good lighting and in less than good lighting, they both perform equally well. So, no one would, be disappointed by the shutter speed now on the Samsung. And especially if you use Expert Raw, it's perfect. I'm not gonna lie. I really recommend to every single person out there, if they have an S25 series phone, use Expert Raw Auto in order and use the JPEGs coming out of it instead of standard auto. The shutter speed there just doesn't miss. I shared some photos with you guys previously on Telegram. These were both shot expert raw auto. I didn't change any of the settings, and Ernie was like really frozen and very crystal clear. And the outputs, as well, they're 24 megapixels, so the quality is there.
So I guess my question is, the people who are complaining about motion blur that still exists on Samsung, is it, are they wrong? Is it they don't know how to use a phone? I mean, because it doesn't seem to be um as noisy as it used to be with maybe a
Mhm.
S23, S24. But there are people that are still saying motion blur is happening and are able to replicate it. So
So yeah, I can give you more information. So on auto, there is a bit of a learning curve, because from my experience, what I realized is that if you just pick up the phone and you click immediately, yes, unless it's a bright day, there will be some motion blur or some stutter-like situation there. But if you give it a phone, if you have the scene optimizer on, if you give the phone like less than a second to really understand what it's trying to capture, it's not gonna miss. At least for me, when it's bright skies out there, and there's some sun, there's no problem. If it's less than ideal situation, or there's an overcast or whatever, it will have, I would say, 90% of the subject, perfectly captured. Because I noticed this with Ernie the other day. Like, we were walking down the street and I took a few pictures of him. It was not very bright outside. And one of his legs was not perfectly clear, but the rest of his body was perfectly fine. But if I were to take the same photo with the S24 or the S23, it would be a mess. It would be horrible. He would be all blurry. So the
okay.
improvements are there. It's just I feel that people haven't really spent the time to, I guess, get adjusted with leaving the phone just for a second to understand what it's trying to capture. And I do believe it's an optimization issue because I feel Samsung could do better because I don't understand what, on OnePlus can do better with the same chip. But it
So
definitely has improved.
I tend to turn scene optimizer off when I have Samsungs. I think.
I used to do the same, but after having a conversation with Fahim and some other people owning the phone and also testing it myself, I feel having it on and just giving the phone like that quick second to just, identify the subject you're trying to shoot, you're getting a great shot. Like I have a lot of photos to prove, what I'm saying, with my dog, which is a fast moving, subject. So yeah, if anyone doubts what I'm saying, I'm more than happy to share, all the photos with the EXIF data so you can have a look that there hasn't been any tampering or anything.
Well, yeah, and I don't think, and like I said, I'm looking at Scoot's comment here about it's been a software issue for Samsung for a while. It sounds like it's improving, but it still can grow, still can get better. Maybe Samsung will not do it on the S25. Maybe it'll do it S26 or S27, thing.
Maybe.
But yeah, I don't know. I just
I also want to.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Sam. I really want to highlight though that we're giving Samsung and a lot of people giving Samsung a lot of shit for the shutter speed and the motion blur. But again, I have, as we say, the receipts for Pixel, OnePlus 12, iPhone 15 Pro Max, and even previous models. And I have pictures of Ernie, even during daylight, where you would see the iPhone having the same struggles as the Samsung. But people want to ignore that. They just want to focus, Samsung bad, Samsung this, Samsung that. But I don't see people judging iPhone and other brands, with the same level of critique. And I think it's both fair and unfair. It's fair to the fact that Samsung should be doing better. I'm not saying that they are perfect or, they are delivering. But at the same time,
definitely a bandwagon. I know what you mean. There's a bandwagon. People jump on it.
Well,
I see what you're saying.
And maybe the argument could be, and I can't believe I'm actually trying to justify that an iPhone user's explanation of it, but most of those people really aren't that critical of iPhone's computational photography. Like, they get an iPhone, they realize what it can do, they realize what its limitations are, they're okay with it, and they just take the shot, right? They just take the picture, they take the video, and they really don't dive that much. I see a lot more people really deep diving or really critiquing or really analyzing Android photography between, Oppo, Vivo, Samsung, OnePlus, Motorola, which really shouldn't be critiqued because they're potato cameras, right? But Pixel, right? But at the end of the day, it seems like with the iPhone camp, again, this is unless it's a photographer really taking a look at an iPhone and really taking a look at what it can and cannot do. I think any comparison between iOS and Android really, it's two different conversations, not only from a camera perspective, but also from an OS perspective, also from a hardware perspective, because again, iOS lives in a world where they control the entire stack. They have all the hardware, they have all the software. This is now on Android, this is iOS 18.3, right? Yeah. They've had 18 years of their own OS. It's not like HTC or OnePlus or Samsung or Oppo or Vivo or Realme or Xiaomi are going to make iOS. It's never going to happen. They control it soup to nuts. So, and their users don't mostly care. I'm not saying they don't care, but I've never talked to an iPhone user that even gives a shit. They're actually more like me when it comes to cameras. Like, literally, they're like, I just want to aim, fire, it makes a picture, I can share it, I can airdrop it, it's all good, and I'm just going to move on with my life. Like, this conversation is inside of this upper 1% or upper 5% of most people. So
it's true.
I would just ignore iPhone users altogether when it comes to camera, because it's not a fair comparison, because they're not operating on the same.
Well, sure, yeah.
They're just not. And their video is still better. Their video capability on an iPhone is still better.
The gap's closing, though, Sam. The gap is closing.
Well, sure, but when is it going to be parity? In 5 years, in 7 years, Who knows? I don't know.
It's very close now, Sam.
Well,
I
again,
really
but
feel that this year. Oh, sorry, Sam. Sorry. Carry on.
No. I'm just saying is,
Yeah.
but you're living in a world where you think that because the gap is closing, that iOS is just going to be right here. Like they're not trying to find a way to make their algorithm better. Maybe they're not. Maybe they don't. And here's the thing: I don't think they give a shit what anybody in the Android space is doing. That's
of course they don't. No,
and that's the problem with Android versus iOS. Just stepping back from it, and I hate to get on this little bit of a kind of a tangent on it, but this is the problem I've always had with comparing iOS and Android on anything, whether hardware, software, phone, cameras, whatever. People in Cupertino could give two shits what Oppo's doing in the camera space. They kind of pay attention, sure. Maybe they see what's going on, but they know that the gap's closing, but it's not like they're competing. It's not like their users are going to go, you know what? I'm going to ditch this iPhone 15 Pro. I'm going to get an Oppo fucking Find N. They know that's not happening. Like again, it's one of those things where the Android people have to worry about that because people go from iOS, OnePlus to Vivo to Xiaomi to Realme to Oppo to, you know what I mean? We care. Manos cares. Joe cares. iOS, Apple users, they don't. That's totally.
They're just in their own
Chinese
bubble
brand, it's
and their own
siloed in
silo.
China.
Yeah.
It's siloed. They don't care. Here's the thing. Can we agree that Huawei probably crushes Android photography, or at least is in really highly competitive, right? And nobody in the
100%.
outside of China could give a shit because that phone is really not outside of China. I remember when Huawei, and maybe they still do it. What was the thing they did with the RGB, but they did a yellow too when they had their sensors?
Yeah.
They were giving like dude, that was like 5 years ago. And I mean, how many times have you taken a Huawei photo if you use a Huawei phone or an Honor phone and going, wow, this is pretty competitive, like across the space. But even that, iOS goes, who in the United States is going to be using a Huawei phone?
No one. Yeah.
0 people. That doesn't even equate to them. They don't even care.
Yeah.
And so, and again, I apologize. It's just and then it's not an attack on iOS or Android. It's just an observation of the current scheme of things. To me, it's two different conversations altogether. The Apple iOS conversation is completely siloed inside of that space, and that's what it is. And Android folks like us will have these conversations about. And I agree with Manos. I think, is Oppo a better camera phone than a Samsung? Objectively, probably, yeah. I mean, in certain situations, depending on the user, right?
It depends on the scenario that you're taking photos of, because I feel, yes, that they have a better shutter speed, Oppo, and a better zoom. But if you care about, raw photos and editing and all that, I would definitely take a Samsung over an Oppo because of expert RAW and the 24 megapixel files and the 50 megapixel files again, because there's a lot of room for editing there. Whereas Oppo, if you use master mode, you're just capped at the 12 megapixel ones, which they're not bad, but they're nowhere near as good in terms of details as Samsung is. Because something that I've identified both on the Oppo and the OnePlus devices is that the moment you pinch in or you crop, there's a significant amount of detail lost. Whereas with Samsung, I don't see that. And the same applies for Pixel and the same applies for iPhone. When you take a higher megapixel shot and you crop in, you have way more detail retained compared, again, to Oppo and OnePlus. But going a little bit back, just because I wanted to add something about the video segment, I feel that not only has the gap has been, been reduced, but I will go as far as saying that Samsung this year, for me and from what I've seen from my own experience and comparing the 15 Pro Max, which the sensor is the same as the 16 Pro series, Samsung for me has a better video this year. It feels way smoother with the lens transitioning. I like the colors, the HDR. I like every single thing way more. And the fact that you can shoot log on device without having to add an external, drive, that's amazing. And then, even Samsung themselves, they have, some color correction that you can do on device immediately. and it looks great. Chad has shown some great examples of how that works. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go as far and say yes, Samsung has a better video experience this year compared to iPhone. We don't know what they're gonna do in September, what they're gonna bring out. I'm sure they're gonna, go ahead, get ahead again. But as it currently stands, I feel Samsung has a better video than iPhone.
So I
Uh,
guess what I want to ask you, like, so why do you think that the iPhone 17 will be ahead? What is just because they're due, or is this because you've heard something from the grapevine? Like if you're saying that Samsung is better, which maybe is, I don't know objectively, I have no idea. But what makes you think that the iPhone 17 series is going to kind of leapfrog Samsung? Is it just a feeling, or do you
so
have?
it's a feeling based on Apple's the way of doing things and how often, they upgrade their camera hardware. So we've been with the same main sensor for what, 3 years now? And I feel that they tend to change, every 3 years or so. I don't know if they're gonna upgrade both the main and the telephoto, coming with a 16 series, sorry, with a 17 series. But I feel whenever there is an upgrade of any sensor with the iPhone, at least, you do see uh, a noticeable improvement. I'm not saying it's a significant one, but it's big enough to notice. Because I want to draw your attention back to the first time they introduced the cinematic mode. The first iteration was meh, and it was 1080p. But with the 15 series, it was phenomenal. Like I remember seeing some, YouTube videos from some creators, and they were actually shaking quite a lot. But then after, when they were editing the footage, it was so smooth, it was so stable, it was actually very, very impressive. I forget the gentleman's name because he's a photographer and he was showcasing in Vienna his video, and I was like, wow. I remember having a wow moment with the video. And that was with the 15 series, and it was already the second year of using the new camera hardware. So I feel this year or next year, the latest, yeah, there's gonna be a leapfrog for sure from iPhone. And besides Samsung, also the Vivo has a great video performance, something which is not
Mm.
really mentioned. Jermaine has showcased it. I've seen it myself from Joe's phone. Yeah,
Which I
it's
no longer have.
very, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I miss that phone.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm just, again, and I don't mean to kind of like get in any kind of in an argument or discussion or disagreement with anybody. I when it comes to cameras, I have to admit that I'm definitely more of a novice and I don't really pay attention to all that. But I'm just curious because I still see that narrative kind of being pushed that Samsung still has some motion blur, still has some shutter lag, and now maybe because they kind of expected to do that, and so maybe they're kind of preloading, right? That's like more of a bias
mm,
about it. They're not looking at it. They're not looking at it from more of a technical perspective or more of an open-minded perspective. Let's just put it that way, right? So it's good to see that you've actually done that, and as they say, the kids say, the share. I have the receipts, right? I've done the work. I've shown
yeah,
that I think that they, and I do think this is an interesting. Somebody made a comment about the blind test, right? The fact that KBHD does some blind tests, and here you are, some Samsung phones and some other phones get in there that aren't necessarily Apple, iOS
yeah,
devices. It's kind of interesting. So it's good. Um,
yeah.
I did see a story the other day, segueing off of photography. Something I can actually not. I don't have any idea talking about because I don't know what I'm doing. But apparently, somebody told me that the Windows 10 mobile store on Windows phones has finally been turned off. So now that's the official death of Windows. Well, technically, you can sideload an APK, right? To get it, but that users are reporting that they've gone on to the on their Windows phone, either a Lumia 950 XL or 950, that the store does not come up. It actually just it crashes or gray screens or whatever. It's done. So if Microsoft finally has turned off Windows Phone's mobile store, that would officially probably signal the death of a Windows Phone. It's been dead for a while, but I just thought it was kind of interesting. It's like, again, I hate the fact that we don't have another operating system. It really kind of, and it doesn't have to be necessarily Windows Phone. I'm okay with the Linux phone. Like, I'm okay with anything at this point, right? Just give me something else other than Android and iOS, right? I'd like to see something else that
Something new,
can,
yeah.
Yeah, just
What about
something different.
Huawei? Huawei's got something else. It is based on
Well,
Android, isn't it?
it's an Android build. I mean, yeah, they've reverse coded it all, and it's AOSP. But I'm talking about like a Linux phone, something that runs on Linux, something that
Something
runs
totally
on,
different.
like a Ubuntu, even Ubuntu builds or something else that can kind of get in there and try to disrupt this. And again, it's always just like anything else, right? It's
I
based
think
on
it's going to be
development.
very difficult now.
Well, it's impossible.
Right.
No, I don't think it's difficult. It's impossible.
Yeah.
There's no way you can dislodge iOS and
Difficult's an
Android.
understatement, yeah.
Right. I mean,
And you
yeah,
see that
it
even, yeah.
just sucks.
And you see it from companies, like Oppo. Think about it. When I see Oxygen OS and Color OS, it's essentially a mixture of Pixel UI and Pixel OS and iOS. It really feels, like a child of these two. And even One UI actually. No, they have taken elements for all those three. And yeah, you have that. And to be fair, I'm gonna say that for the average user, and if I was someone who wanted, I guess, more than just the basics, I would say that Oxygen OS and ColorOS are the best Android skins out there. They give you everything you need, and they give it to you in the very straightforward and seamless way. One UI is amazing. It has everything you could potentially need, especially now with One UI 7. It's very fluid. The animations are excellent. Not as excellent as ColorOS. ColorOS is just, I don't know, a league of its own. I don't know how they manage that. Um, but yeah, ColorOS and OxygenOS are by far the simplest and the best OS experience for me when it comes to Android. Followed by One UI, provided that you don't mind digging really into the settings and making the phone your own. iOS is plain boring with many limitations, at least for me.
Manos, have you ever
Yeah.
had Moto though? Because I've never had one, but I hear really good things. Like Sam's obviously a big fan of
Motorola, you
Moto.
said?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've never
Uh,
used one. The last Motorola that I've used was in high school, so it was, the
mm.
Razr Flip one. Um,
Because I feel like that's what
yeah.
something I need to try. Because I hear really good things about their flavor of Android
Well,
and the extra bits they give you.
yeah, it's basically AOSP with some extra bits on it, right? So,
Yeah, that's a good thing.
and we can talk about the Clicks, right? Clicks is now coming to Android, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But man, did you see with the Razr, the fact that basically now you could use it essentially Clicks with the display screen, and it's like, I mean, really for people who have used the Moto Razr, which I have, it's kind of cool because that really is what kind of unlocks really the usability of the front screen, because it always was the texting was always like, the keyboard comes up and it kind of occludes the entirety. I mean, you get this little sliver of text, right? But now with Clicks, and also it's shorter, it's almost to like the phone of almost being a short BlackBerry.
BlackBerry Bold, yeah.
When
Yeah,
you unfold
definitely.
it, you're going to have 6.9 inches plus a Clicks keyboard. That's going to be a pretty tall device. But at the end of the day, it's like, I think finally for Clicks, I think Clicks is kind of like the first for Razr is kind of the first.
Sam gave him the side eye, then like shut the.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like, the Clicks for the Razr specifically is great because it has that form factor, because it's a foldable. There's nothing on iOS that even comes close to that, so you don't have to worry about that tall. It solves those problems. So I don't know, it's kind of cool. I'm gonna check it out.
And speaking of iPhone foldables, I heard a rumor recently from, I'm not gonna say from who, but that
You
yeah,
can't
because
do that.
yeah,
You can
I
do it.
cannot
Go
say
on, it's fine.
who told me. That I think it must have been leaking around, not leaking, but has been circulating around, about Apple's upcoming flip. And that's for gonna be next year, and if not next year, the year after that for sure, as sure as we can be at this stage, with leaks and rumors that are going around, that their folding screen is not gonna have a crease because it's gonna be rolling in and out from the sides of the phone indoor. I cannot really explain it very well how it would, work. Because yeah, it was just I don't know, I was really spaced out. It was like, oh, iPhone again, I don't care. Um, But yeah, it was quite interesting the way he was describing it. I wish I could have paid more attention to be able to describe it better. But yes, somehow like the screens would be folding, sliding in and out from inside the phone or something. Uh,
Okay.
but
Okay.
still, yeah, and that way, you eliminate the risk of the phone breaking, the screen having problems like most foldables that you see after a year or so, they start having issues with their screens. I don't know has it been for you, but at least when people complain, they say that their inside screen died after a year of
I've never
long
had one
folding.
long enough for it to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I still have. I mean, I still have my razor now. The problem is I screwed it up. I broke the SIM cap. It's the SIM tray's in the phone. I can't get it out, so it's kind of stuck like that, which is fine. But honestly, I mean, I still have it. I've
It's a
kept it.
Wi-Fi only phone.
But dude, it's a Wi-Fi only.
Oh, lost you, Sam.
We lost it. So
Oh, it's okay. I muted my phone.
okay.
So,
Oh,
but
okay.
I mean, it's like here's the thing: the phone itself. I mean, I've had this for a while. This is the 2023, so this is the old razor.
That's been a
And
crack in
dude,
the back as well.
yeah, well, that's when I dropped it. I broke it. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
I cracked the back of it, but the screen itself. I mean, as you can see, yeah, there's a crease, right? But
Mm.
I mean, whatever, man. I mean, it's like any
Creases
foldable
don't
screen is
bother
going to
me, really.
fail. Any phone's going to fail, right? I don't
Mm.
care if you drop it, if you fold it or whatever. But honestly, it's like, yeah, I mean, I know people have failures with the phone, but I don't think the
One thing I
majority
will
of
say,
people
Sam,
have a.
is some people shouldn't have a fold. Some people are not right for folds because
And some
they're
people
the
don't want to
reason. They're
fold.
the reason it fails. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Mm.
I mean, but they don't want the form
User
factor.
error.
I mean, they don't care. Like, I mean, but
Mm.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, nothing is cooler than it's fine. Like, well, why would you have a phone? They're just like, because it's nice because you can carry this around and it's not sticking out of your pocket, and you can still use it. That was always I heard about. Well, you have a Duo, if it's closed, you can't use it because the screen's on the inside. I'm like, all you're doing is finding reasons to not like it. If you don't like it, fine. But everybody who ever bitched about the Duo, who I ever heard about, never owned a Duo more than a couple of weeks or a month or two. And I'm like, it's never been a problem for me. Using this phone with the outside screen has never been a problem. Yeah. Is it an optimal experience? No, it's the screen's tiny. But if you're just looking at something real quick and you're just doing something, this is fine. If you're just looking at a message or you get a notification, it's no different than a smartphone, a smartwatch. Actually, it's better than a smartwatch
Yeah.
because you actually can do shit with it. It just seems like to me everybody always wants to complain about stuff
Oh yeah, for
because it's
sure.
just easier to complain about it than just find ways to use the form factor as it is.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
it's just
Or
easier.
buy anything else if you don't like it. Nobody
Or
forces you.
buy a slap phone.
Yeah.
Go buy your iPhone. Go buy your fucking Samsung. Do whatever you want to do. But for other people who want to try something different, and then turn around and go, yeah, the iPhone, the market's stale on phones. It's the same phone because you're buying the same shit every time. You fucking moron. God damn, people drive me nuts. It's like iPhone users complain about the fact that they get the same goddamn iPhone 16, but yet you don't want anything else other than another slab phone. Because God forbid they come out with a foldable, a flippable, a modular phone, an e-reader phone, the minimal phone. People are trying to come up with new shit just to kind of disrupt that market and find segments of people who want to maybe use something, I don't know, fucking different than what you're using. And everybody goes, yeah, fuck it. I don't like it. It's weird. I don't like it. It's stupid. It makes me have to open it. I have to touch it. It's like,
Yeah, it doesn't have iMessage. Yeah. But you will see once Apple does, their flipped version, whatever, it's gonna catch up for sure.
It's going to do very
well,
well.
and
Yeah.
not so much iPhone users, fuck Android users too. They're a bunch of bitches too. You got a goddamn phone here, it costs you $400 fucking dollars or $300. It does 90% of the same shit your phone does, but it's a Moto. It's weird. It's cheap. It's plastic. Fuck you. What are you doing on your phone? Are you dialing into shit? You're watching videos? Dude, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to tell you something that people, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. I am not even using my Pixel anymore because this phone at $299, except for the AI bullshit and except for the call screening stuff, is just as good. It takes every phone call. It runs every fucking app. Oh, and by the way, It has a fucking stylus that your Pixel doesn't have, right? I know that nobody cares. 1% of people use it. Whatever, man. It's just I'm tired of people shitting on.
Has anyone counted how many F-bombs Sam's dropped?
Yeah, I don't care. I'm so tired of this same argument where people go, look, if you want to use an iPhone, if you want to use a Samsung, and you want to spend $1,500 on a phone, knock yourself out. But to sit there and look at other people who want to try different stuff, maybe the form factor is different, or maybe they want to spend they're holding out for the Pixel 9a because they don't want a 9 Pro or 9 XL, and they don't need all the camera capability because not everybody's into that. To sit there and dog on those people, you're just an asshole. And somebody should smack, and then you know what you are? Then you're not a tech person. Because if you were a tech person, and that's why you've got no HTC, no LG, no real competition, and you're walking yourself right into that trap, but then you want to sit there and complain when iOS goes, well, we don't have to do shit because we're going to put out the 17 and you sons of bitches are going to buy it no matter what the fuck we do. That's how stupid you really are. And then you're wondering and then you want to complain, well, the camera's not good. It's the same phone as last year. You just walked yourself right into that stupid trap. So, then you get what you get. Then don't turn around and complain about it. Then just take whatever bullshit Samsung or whatever bullshit iOS gives you and just live with it. Because you want that. Because you don't want anything new. Why can't we have a 1-inch sensor on another Android phone other than a Chinese phone? Samsung can't figure out a way to do it. I'm pretty sure that they were look at the Lumia 1020 from fucking 8, 9, 10 years ago. 43 megapixel and a Xenon flash, and nobody wanted it.
It goes beyond the capabilities of the company being able to do it or not. Because when I was in the Snapdragon Summit in Hawaii, there were some people from Korea there. And they would see the Chinese phones, with the big round camera bumps in the back. Even my OnePlus 12, and they were like, "Oh, these phones in Korea, they're considered very ugly because the cameras, they're so big, it looks horrible." Whereas they love their Samsungs because the cameras are smaller and they're more discreet, and the phone looks more professional and slimmer and all that. So we may want our cameras, to be big and capable and all that, but they couldn't care less. None of these people, they're gonna, pixel peep and say, "Oh, this phone has, better clarity there, or a better highlight control, or the better contrast, or whatever." They're just gonna see, "Oh, this phone looks cool. It's an accessory. I can do, like you said, all the social media stuff or the browsing, the email, whatever. It doesn't matter. If that other phone takes better photos than mine, I don't care."
Do you know what? It's interesting you say that, Manos, because touching on your cheap phone again, Sam, Moto have gone down that route of aesthetics, the way it looks with the Pantone and stuff like that. So they've very much got that in mind, like how their phone looks with fashion, in people's lifestyles. So that is kind of the way the industry's going a little bit. Like even when you look at the flips, how they market them is how it fits in your life and how it's a fashion accessory.
Well, or they even have the chain to make it like a bag.
Yeah, they have it's like a vegan fake leather back. It actually feels kind of nice, right? Now the frame is plastic and the phone's light, but I mean, here's the thing. Oh, imagine that. You could throw an SD card in here. Yeah, nobody gives a shit about that anymore. Oh, yeah, by the way, headphone jack. Yeah, because, I wish they're not going to give you headphone jack, dude. They're never going to give it to you.
He's off again. He's going to start swearing in a minute.
It's just, it's what people are they like to live in these bubbles where they want to complain about stuff, and they have a phone that actually gives them everything they complain about, but yet, but it's only $299. Or
it's not socially acceptable. It's not about the price.
The camera's not nice. It's good enough. It's like, okay, great. But what are you? Then get a camera. How about you spend, I don't know, $299 on this phone and buy a real camera for $1,000, and they have a real camera, and you can do all. Then it will crush any phone you bring to the table, like what good Joe does. Joe bought an actual proper standalone. You can get a DSLR, a mirrorless camera.
I did the same.
And if you're a photography dude and you don't have a camera, then you're not a photography dude or a human. Tough shit. Don't even. No, not. No, Yeah, and Joe has one too, right? And it's awesome. And you realize that you have the flexibility of having the camera on your phone. But if you're really a photography person, like Manos takes some of the shots that I've seen Manos put in the chat are so amazing. Like I know that I can't do those shots. Like even if I had his camera, yeah, maybe if I practice and get some experience, maybe I probably could get close. But some people just have a real good eye for photography, and I've never really had that eye. But I'm like, why not spend $299 and get a phone that's got a better camera or a decent camera? It takes pictures, not great. I have a great battery. It has it doesn't get updated every time, but yeah, like you're side loading. I mean, whatever, you're watching it for YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and Twitch. I mean, it's what you're doing. But and then spend that money and buy yourself a really nice camera and take some of the pictures that Joe and Manos are able to take, because you're not taking those. Any DSLR will beat any mobile phone, period.
Even a camera from the early 2010s, if not even before that.
A Micro Four Thirds, a really good, can do it.
Yeah.
It will crash every single phone. The Vivos, the Oppos, the Xiaomi's. It doesn't matter. It's just you cannot beat physics. When the lens of my camera is like this big and the phone is this big, you just can't.
Right. And you have to bring it around. But at the end of the day, it's like if you're really dedicated to taking good street photography, Joe's out in the world, it's. And again, if you want to spend the money, that's fine. But to sit there and spend all this money on a phone and then just bash
and then
because they don't have the same phone, it's just, I don't know. It just, it feels really just disingenuous and kind of just schmaltzy. I mean, because you're just basically complaining to complain. It's like, but you spent $1,000. It's like somebody buying a Bentley and complaining that it doesn't have it doesn't go as fast and it doesn't do the thing that an SUV does. I can't tow a trailer. Yeah, you bought a Bentley, dude. It doesn't tow shit. It's like, what? Then buy a truck. It's like, I don't get it, man. It's funny. For some reason, we give people a pass on technology where in any other aspect of your life, if you were trying to buy if you had a caravan. Right. You have a caravan. That's the UK, right? Nobody in the US has a caravan, right? But if you had an RV or a trailer and you bought a Honda Civic, you go, well, fuck, man. I could put a tow hitch on it. You should be able to pull it. You can. You blow the fucking differential out, but you can pull it, right? But if you're buying a caravan, you need a vehicle that can pull the caravan. Don't buy a sedan and then complain that it can't pull your caravan because you bought a car. Well, you bought a car. Yeah. Buy what you need to buy. It's just like people piss me off because they want to have everything and they buy the wrong shit and then want to complain about it and then tell you, not only did I buy the wrong thing, but you bought the wrong thing and you're a moron.
Yeah, and this is what I wanted to say. It's becoming exhausting a lot on actually any tech space, be that Twitter, Threads, whatever you name it. People just try to bring everyone else down that hasn't bought the same device. And it's just exhausting. I really try to, put myself out there. The only time you will see me being a little bit toxic is towards iPhone. But, when it comes to other, Android devices, I'm not going to fight. Okay, everyone can like whatever they want. Like Jermaine, for instance. Is Jermaine on the chat, by the way?
Yeah, he was here earlier. He sometimes kind of goes and flows. He was in earlier.
Yeah. So Jermaine really, sits on Samsung. And I get it because Samsung Auto, for instance, at least in the past years, the greens, and I agree, as someone who enjoys, the Samsung phones, the greens were horrible. The blues also very saturated, and the processing wasn't great. I'm always talking about Auto, but now they haven't been improved. They've even, I wish we could really focus on what brands do good and just celebrate that and just offer some constructive feedback to them so they can improve, because I'm looking at companies like OnePlus, for instance, which I'm part of the core and the Southern Society with photography, that they really welcome people's feedback when it's constructive so they can improve on things and they can fix stuff. And I will tell you for sure that they do listen and they do improve things a lot.
I think their cameras from the 10 to the 13, I think they've really markedly improved. I think they've done a lot. between the OnePlus 10 Pro and like the now OnePlus 13. I think that they are receptive to people feedback and saying, "Hey,
OnePlus have a really good community, very good community."
Yeah, I was gonna say that we should be focusing on celebrating this type of communities way more because they make tech something to celebrate and enjoy and make friends. Like I've met a lot of people through the OnePlus community, and I'm very grateful. And this is why, I've become part of the core, and you don't see them bitching about, they don't even care, about other brands or talk shit or anything. They just really enjoy photography or whatever, OnePlus or Oppo can bring them.
Yeah. And I think Nothing does a good job too. Yeah. Carl Pei gets on, he's listening to people's feedback. He's like, I think the Nothing 3A looks pretty cool. Like I know a lot of people, it's not their, not their bag as far as the way the hardware looks, but I think it looks kind of cool. Like and the fact that the phones are pretty competitively priced, right? You're in the like $499 to $700 range. I mean, yeah, do they hit all the things that every other phone does? No, but I mean, I think there has to be some stratification. And if you want to go high end, you want to go foldable, and you want to spend $2,000, go for it. If you want a Huawei XT and you want a trifold and you're a bleeding edge guy and you want to spend 3,000 quid, hey man, I don't have the cash for that. But you know what I mean? But also give people some latitude in there and realize that not everybody needs everything they buy. Like they buy things
and
that
let people enjoy things. And that and
let them be happy about it.
Yeah,
just let them be happy about it.
Because you see so many trash talking on X, because we're mostly on X, and we see this. Oh, someone says, I have whatever the Samsung. I took this picture, and people are like, oh, it's trash. There is noise there. There's bad this. Vivo, Oppo, Xiaomi, blah 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 blah. So much better, dude. Who asked you? Why? I don't understand why people feel the need to, shit on other people's, photos or what they like or they don't like. It's just exhausting. And I take responsibility for having done this in the past, and I really try not to do it anymore because it doesn't help with anything. It just makes a worse environment to have, good conversations. So yeah, just
and
enjoy,
like I said, and I agree. And even in the Nord and the R series, phones, I think OnePlus does a really good job as an overall brand. I think they do a great. Now, are they perfect? No. Can they improve? Sure.
There's no perfect brand. There's no perfect brand.
But they do pretty good, Joe. I mean, like I said, I don't
know. Nomad Tech Project's quite a good brand.
Yeah, we're awesome.
Clear on time as well, yeah.
Not at all. And like I said, I'm just sorry. I just like I said.
What is perfect? What is perfect? That is the question.
I thought about it, and I'm just like, man, it's just like again, it's leave people alone and let people just enjoy what they enjoy, and don't tell them they're stupid or they don't understand or they're dumb. And if they do, then let them be dumb. If they bought the wrong phone because you think they bought the wrong phone, then just know that they bought the wrong phone and move on with your life. And
Sam, it's like you say at the end of the show quite often, enjoy your tech, don't be a dick.
And don't be a dick. And just and again, when I say that, it's not gender specific, folks. I'm just saying don't be that person where let people enjoy their phone. Like I've seen a bunch of people use an iPhone and they don't even know how to use it. Like they don't even know what it can do. And it's just like, and be that guy where you go, hey, do you know that you can do? Like I saw one person where I worked at my other job. They actually had it wasn't a razor, it was a flip. It was I think it was a 5. And I just said, hey, do you know you could do this where you can change, like, 'cause she wanted me to take a picture, but I made it so she can see it. She was like, I can't always see it because it's always this little box inside the phone. I wish it could be the whole screen. I go, well, yeah, watch this. I just clicked on it. I said, change the aspect, and it's one. She was like,
16:9, yeah.
It was like, holy shit! Somebody didn't explain it to you, and you didn't know. But just be that tech ambassador. Be that tech person that sees somebody out there struggling and say, hey, you could probably do it this way, and put it out there. And if they do it, cool. If they don't, that's cool too. And just let it go. Just move on with your life. Enjoy your job. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your tech. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. And just put it out there and see if they can help somebody out when they see their face. Go, oh wow, man, I really appreciate you helping me give me that feedback. Now I know how to use my device better, or computer better, or iPhone better, or iPad better, or whatever. Just be that person, right? Be a nice human. That's all.
So just quickly, Manos, you was talking about how people moan about noise and all that rubbish. There's also a trend where people want photos to look older. Like you like to put grain in your photos sometimes, don't you?
Yeah.
And there's actually
Mark does too. Yeah.
there's actually a lens I was thinking of getting, right? And what they've done, they've got old disposable cameras, and they've made a full frame lens with that.
Yeah.
So you get the look of like a disposable camera, but with your full frame camera.
That's
Well, I
nice.
want to get one. 'Cause it'll be quite fun to use, wouldn't it?
Joe accidentally throws it away. Did I throw it away? Oh my god, I did.
Yeah.
It's disposable.
And that's true because it gives, such a vibe to the photo. It makes it feel more authentic, I guess, more real. Because I have a lot of presets that I created that I add a lot of grain. And it just adds more personality because I'm not a big fan of, everything being super crystal clear. Like it almost feels as, it's too AI-ish. If I'm being honest, when
A good
it's,
example, Manos, that image you posted the other day, and someone asked you why it's so dark. It's because that's
oh
how I
yeah,
wanted it.
that's how I wanted it. I wanted to, have low exposure and make it moody. Why everything has to be bright? Why everything has to be, I don't know, saturated and vibrant? If I want to make it faded, if I want, I don't know. There's so many, ways you can go about it. I mean, many times I even bring textures and clarity down to make it less defined. I
Right.
mean,
Well,
it's your art. You can do whatever you
I
want.
was gonna say, and that's the photography is an art form. So it's whatever you want to bring to the table, right? If you want to have these, and again, I don't think you should. There is something to be said for having photos that have more grain, more cinematic effect, more they're like they're eerie, like, you know what I mean? It's like you can kind of play with
Yeah,
those pictures, and that's what post editing is good for, right? So you can change the
exactly. You can
settings and,
play.
and
You can play.
play
Yeah,
with it, and then if it looks good, great. And if you put it out
yeah,
there and you think it looks good and everybody else thinks it looks like trash, then maybe you can
yeah.
take
It's
that
fine.
feedback and say, well, then explain to me what I would do in the future to make this photo look
Yeah,
better. Well, what can I do? Well, you
exactly.
could do this and do that. Ask for that feedback instead of just getting all up in your feels because somebody shit on your photography. I'd go, okay, well, tell me what you think I could do better to make this photograph
Yeah,
more
guide me. Don't bring me down. Yeah,
aesthetically pleasing. And if they basically say, well, I don't know, I'm not, my job's not to help you, then you know what you are? You don't know shit. You're just out here
yeah.
hating. You're not actually, you don't have anything to give. No, people do that. They'll sit there and they say, you suck. And well, tell me how I suck. Well, you just suck. Well, then you don't know shit. You're just out here throwing shade. Well, that's fine. You can piss right off. And then, but everybody else, somebody who had actual intelligence and who cameras, like Scoop, say, try to change the angle, go lower, try a different filter, try a different lighting aspect. Maybe next time try this. Like that's a person who is a good
Yeah.
human, also is technically capable, who knows some shit.
Mm.
They will give you that feedback, even if it's minimal. They say, look, I don't want to tell you what to do, but maybe just try this and see what that
Yeah.
does. And
Sam,
that
look at Peter's comment.
Haters gonna hate. Yeah.
And
So he's
yeah,
like,
and
Joe
for
was
the love of
targeted on
yeah,
Instagram
Yeah.
with some hipster advertising.
Right.
and for the love of God, don't use vignette during daytime, like especially if it's a bright sky or whatever. Just don't use vignette in those times. It
Yeah.
just looks
So
bad.
Manos is triggered. Don't do that.
Yeah,
You'll
don't
upset
do
Manos.
that.
We don't want to do that. We want to love Manos and do what he says. Just don't use
No,
vignette.
no, do what you want to do, right? Don't listen to him. If you want to
No,
do
Yeah,
that, do it.
do
yeah,
it.
don't
Just do
listen to
it.
me. It's just gonna
Just
look
do it.
bad.
But
Yeah,
just
just
realize that
say
Manos is going to probably
it.
judge you and be a little judgy and triggered. That's okay. It's
He's
fine.
going to do He's going to do exactly what he said he won't do, and he'll get in your
Yeah.
DMs and he'll message you and give you
This
shit.
is trash. Yeah.
Vignette. I fucking
Yeah.
it's like he'll lose
No,
his mind.
it's
And that's
it's
okay.
good
Because
if
if
it's
you want to
a
just
little bit
drive
dark.
yeah. If you want to
It's
drive Manos
fine.
crazy, just go vignette during the day and just drive him up a wall. You know what? That's fine. So you got to be careful, man. You can't tell people what drink makes you crazy because they're gonna go, "Oh, really?" They're gonna push
Yeah,
right
you know
off.
you're just going to get tweets
Do
now
that.
with
Yeah.
pictures.
Tagging me. Yeah.
Everybody else is gonna go vignette
Oh
during the day.
man.
Fuck these people, right? He's gonna lose his mind. Oh, well, anyway, so what we're trying to do, and I feel bad, Joe. We've had I looked it up. We have this is like episode 29 ish.
Okay.
This is where we usually cut it off. So maybe, Manos, what we're going to do is you welcome to the last show of episode 3. So
Okay.
we're going to finish it off. Usually, yeah. So it's going to be great. So now he's not only showed up on the show, which I still don't know why anybody comes on this bullshit. But anyway, but now he's
Including
special
me.
because he's right. I mean, I don't know why you keep coming back every week. You have to listen to my bullshit. Dude, it's incredible, man. The fact that we're able to do this and we've had over 100 shows and we keep coming back is completely bonkers to me. I honestly,
We love it.
Love talking about tech.
It's nuts.
It's
I
great
know
fun.
it's great, and I just appreciate you guys.
I just come to see you, hear you doing F-bomb, Sam.
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, it's not like we're getting monetized for this, so you might as well let it rip. I don't know.
Can someone do me a favor? Rewatch this and just count how many F-bombs he put.
Probably. Yeah, it's a lot. Anyway, so Manos, this is the last show of episode. We still need to make a new logo for at least change it up for episode for season 4. So we're going to try to do that next week, and we'll see how that goes. I mean, I just appreciate you coming on, Manos, and taking some time and spending and talking about phones and tech and your experiences and always sharing that. I really appreciate. I know you're busy with a lot of stuff in your life, and you got a lot of stuff going on with the job and family and stuff.
I think everyone already follows. I think everybody already follows Manos, but just in case we get a listener on the audio side, or tell everyone where we can find you, mate.
Yeah, thank you for that. So yeah, Orange Scooter on X is where you'll find me. You can also find me on Instagram now because I created a new account there, which is just for my street photography. So I'm using it like, portfolio featuring at least my personal favorite ones, of my photos. So yeah, Orange Scooter in both, Instagram and X. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put those in the show notes. Yeah, I'll put those links in the show notes too. As well.
Dan had a question earlier. He's been burning to ask. He's never asked it. Have you ever actually owned an orange scooter?
Yes, I have. This is how I created my tag. I think I mentioned this before, but in case
I thought you had, but Dan asked earlier, so I thought I'd ask for him.
So I did own an orange kick scooter during my master's times, because I used to commute from my accommodation hall to campus, and even inside the class with an orange scooter. And back then we had a project where they asked us, to have a Twitter account, because I remember we're using it for voting, or doesn't matter. We're using it for something. And I was like, oh, what should I name myself? I don't want to just put my name. That feels boring. And there was a time where not many people knew me yet by my name. So they were like, oh, the guy with the orange scooter. So I just create my handle as Orange Scooter to be more identifiable, I guess. So yeah, it stuck from then. So wow, it goes back to 2016. Yeah, we have some story behind it.
He has had an orange scooter. It's not random.
Right. So again, Manos, thanks for coming on. And again, this will be the last show for season 3. Thank you so much for bookmarking our last season, our season 3, and we'll come back for the next one, and we'll bring it back to you next time, folks. I really appreciate everybody sharing and coming back and listening to the live stream and downloading the podcast and listening to it. Joe and I really do appreciate all the guests that come on and all the times we have with everybody. It's really a good community, and we love you guys. So just
Yep.
And yeah, Taylor, you're a little late. It's okay. We go off at 2:00, mate. So if you're used to the 3:00 time, don't be bad. I mean, we were off on 3:00 for over 100 shows, so you're not late. We pulled the rug out. We went an hour early, so we're going off at 8:00 now. So anyway,
2:08 now.
Yeah. So all right. Well, Manos, thanks so much for coming on, and we will see you again hopefully soon. Hopefully, we'll keep that gap from your next appearance a lot smaller. Cool. We don't want to. We haven't done. Joe, anything else before we sign off for the day? I think we covered.
No, just to add that you can skin your shit at extremeskins.co.uk.
Yes,
we always forget that till the end.
Well, sometimes I try to get in and I got the banner. See, there it is.
Oh, look at that! We've got a banner.
I had the banner. I just do it during the time I'm talking about extremeskins.co.uk. So there you go. There's the banner. That hashtag is not real. That's just our own silly thing. So don't try to.
If you want to use it, we're not responsible, but you can use it.
Right, exactly. We're not responsible for anything you do with our show, including watch. We're not responsible for that either. So
no.
Anyway, so for myself, for Joe, for Manos, thanks so much for coming to Nomad Tech Project on this show. Again, we'll see you again next Sunday on the Nomad Tech Project. I don't know if we have a guest lined up. Probably not. It's okay. If we don't, no big deal. And again, skin your shit. Enjoy your tech. Don't be a dick.
Don't.
And we will see you. And we will see you all on the next Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe. Thanks. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.